Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I am cannon fodder apparently.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
Yeah, it's roast Office Bloke Dave Day. So if in the comments, if you want to roast me, then feel free because everyone else is. Just do it. I can take it. I can take it. Yeah, we are the Office Blokes, and we like to react to all types of videos, but NFL is becoming a bit of a big thing, really. And,
yeah, I like the NFL.
5-0, go Birds.
5-0 is it now? For
Not bad.
4-1 Giants.
Yeah, I think all the Eagles really needed was someone like me to start supporting them, and then it takes them to that next level, and then they just start. You know, they can't lose now.
Is that what was missing?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't think my side would be trouble in the Super Bowl final anyway. Well, anyway, let's move on.
0-4?
I can't remember now. Something like that.
Yeah, I don't think they've won a game yet, have they?
That's your fault, Mike.
I know, yeah. Kiss of death.
Yeah. Do you believe in like superstitions where some people have like the lucky shirt for a game, and I suppose
No.
Me neither.
That's all right then. Fair enough. Right. Do the British actually like the NFL? American football in London vlog.
Yeah.
If the footage is anything to go by, it looks manic. There's loads of people there. It looks like a great atmosphere.
They always sell out.
The reason I put this on because the NFL was in London this weekend.
Yeah,
it was.
It was last weekend as well. I think that's it now. I don't think there's any more. I think that's it for this season.
Right.
Yeah, they might be going to Germany. I think there's one in
Oh, right, okay.
Munich. I think it's by Munich Stadium.
I think they were doing it there.
Something like that. So I think it's going there. And I think there's one in Mexico. I don't know if that's happened yet. But I think they're playing away in Mexico as well.
Yeah.
So for the overseas, but they are regular games.
Yeah.
But I'll talk as we go through because obviously I don't know what this guy's going to say.
Yeah. I think that because soccer is so big over here.
Yeah.
The NFL's got a tough challenge.
Absolutely.
To try and take on something as institutionalized as football is over here. But that's not to say there's not a huge place for it over here as well.
Yeah.
Because you look at ice hockey's growing all the time. Yeah. I mean, NFL is the biggest sport that we've got that isn't native, I think. Is there anything else that isn't?
Do you mean that comes in and goes?
Yeah, that's like...
I don't know, because when you look at, I mean, it's things, because the NFL comes only once a year, for example, there's only 1 or 2 games. There's not many games, sort of like in the year, is there, that come to the UK.
No.
Yeah. And it's all in London.
Yeah.
So that the rest of the country are not asked. They're not going to travel to London. I know it's only, people in America will say, it's only 200 miles away, but it's like 200 miles of village driving. You try driving through Main Street, wherever, for 2.5 hours.
It's 200 miles.
200 miles now.
200 miles of roadworks.
Yeah, exactly. It's 200 miles of village driving, really, because you stop start. It's busy all the way. You don't get any open road where you don't see a car for whatever. Yeah, it's just busy. Metropolitan driving.
I think the point I was trying to make is like it's bigger than baseball is over here. It's bigger than basketball is over here. It's bigger than ice hockey. I think when it comes, it's such a spectacle.
In that sense, it is. But I mean, I think
the NFL I'm talking about, not.
I think there's more hockey teams and stuff like that than American football teams over here. I would guess. I don't know.
Hockey's probably a bigger played sport, I would say.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of watching, there's no single hockey game that's bigger than this. The NFL coming here.
Well, the American sports are touring the world, because I know the other day the NBA were in Japan. So there was an NBA. I think it's pre-season though, but they were playing in Japan. And there's an NHL game in Europe somewhere as well coming up. I think that might be a regular season game as well.
All right, okay.
It might be pre-season, not sure.
Yeah,
but it's one of them where this is an NFL divisional game. This is a proper game. This has been played. This
part
counts.
Of the season.
Yeah, it counts as part of the season. And it's one of them. If they brought it here every single week, I don't think it'll have the same attraction as what it has when it comes a little bit here and there.
It's a bit more like a novelty, I suppose, to a lot of people, isn't it?
So you think of the sheer size and scale of it when it does come over here, they couldn't sustain that. I don't think if it was if the NFL moved a whole subdivision of a league here and it was like 2 games a week, 3 games a week or whatever.
I think we did a video with that, didn't we? Yeah. I think we did a video about it, but then you get the players over there, then over here you'd have to have families and stuff like that. Then when you look into it deeply, it's like...
If you put a franchise over here, let's say you had the London Trumpets, or whatever they're called. Wow. That's what people are in London, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The London Muppets.
Yeah, right.
So let's say you'd base it in London more than likely. Yeah. Right. So let's say it was based in London. I think the stadium would sell out every single week. It'd be like there'd be waiting lists for season tickets. It'd be massive. It'd be like a massive following. For that one team in the NFL. if you brought NFL to be played here every single week, it'll fizzle out.
Yeah, multiple teams.
Yeah,
and,
fizzle out.
That's what happened with ice hockey years ago. That got really big at one point. I went to the Manchester Arena when it was like a sellout hockey game, and it was huge. There's tens of thousands of people, great atmosphere. But I don't think it's got that traction to sustain it.
Can't sustain it, yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
There's too many other sports that are going over here.
That's what I mean.
You know, football, rugby, cricket,
Two
golf,
rugbies.
tennis, horse racing. Horse racing's huge.
Yep. Motorsport.
Motorsport,
going on. Athletics even, you know, it's really, really popular.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of sports to contend with to get a different, brand new on here for it to do well. A lot to contend with.
Oh, absolutely.
But with rugby, you got league and uni as well. You got two different types of rugby.
Yeah, and one's in during the summer and one's during the winter, isn't it?
So they both get big crowds.
Yeah, they do, very well supported. So
anyway.
Yeah,
Should we get into it?
That was a podcast.
Yeah, it's a bit of that's all we have time for.
Did the British actually like the NFL? Let's do it.
Nin explains, do the British actually like the NFL? Now, if you've been tuning into my channel, you'll quickly realise that I've covered the NFL in the UK like a lot. And a lot of haters and naysayers all seem to have the misguided notion that this is just a fad, a novelty. The British public don't actually care about American football, and that the NFL wouldn't work in England because of various reasons. But are they actually true, or do people just not want to open their ideas to the possibility that not only does the NFL...
Do you know where that is, Mike?
I'm assuming it's Tottenham Stadium.
No, it's Wembley.
Oh. I've never seen, you know what, I've never seen inside the concourses on either of them, but I know it's better than Old Trafford anyway.
Yeah, it's Wembley, that. Yeah.
Wembley.
It looks like Wembley anyway. It looks like the concourse at Wembley.
Yeah, all right.
survive in England, but
I'm a United fan, so I wouldn't know really.
That's right.
You'd have to have a good memory.
thrives in a market that's across an entire ocean. Let's recap. The NFL has been hosting games in London every year since 2007. They keep coming back to London, not Berlin, not Paris, not Munich. And there's a reason for that, because A, the NFL is awesome, B, the NFL has no problem selling tickets over here, and C, contrary to popular belief, the British actually like American football. Whilst admittedly it doesn't get the same coverage as say other sports, over the years it's gotten significantly more. Can you find the NBA in newspapers? Or the NHL on terrestrial TV? How about a talk show on Major League Baseball? Nope, none of those, but the NFL has all three here in the UK. Why do you think that Major League Baseball, the NHL and the NBA are all trying to copy the NFL in London format? Because it's a massive market and the British audience is huge. But I know some of you are going to be throwing out some objections. British fans don't actually care about the NFL, they only like soccer and getting drunk. Oh really? How about this?
Yep.
As well.
Or this. Like it or not, the demand for the NFL in London and Britain is sky high. Pubs stream games on their big screens, people have Super Bowl parties and watch the draft, fans pay massive subscription fees to watch the regular season games on Sky, and the Jaguars have a UK-based fan club with UK fan events. This is more than most of our traditional sports. Look around and you'll see coverage of the NFL in one form or another. Sometimes more than cricket, rugby, netball, tennis, badminton, and all the other sports that you associate with England.
Do you think there's a thing with TV rights there, though, that maybe some of the big owners of the rights or the big channels in the States maybe have a foot in the door here as well? Yeah. So there is like a prerogative to like, yeah, we're going to put this on because we can.
Yeah.
Whereas like the local, you know, like the biggest badminton league probably doesn't earn much in TV.
They don't have any clout, will they? But you know.
Well, you think about you think about marketing, and you look at what we do with like United and City, Chelsea, Liverpool, teams like that where they're trying to get they're trying to become a global franchise.
Yeah.
Where they're getting fans from every corner of the globe, sort of thing. And it's the same. What's any different from the NFL? The only difference you've got with the NFL is they're bringing these games over here because the USA can't play, Russia in NFL, for example. Yeah. It wouldn't work because Russia will be shit, or NFL playing the UK, in a game. USA, sorry, against it'd be shit. It'd be so one-sided.
Oh, yeah, massively.
Yeah, you can't do it on a national level.
It's just not developed enough anywhere else in the world.
I mean, if we put a game on tomorrow that was England v Spain, right? It'd be huge. And I know people are going to say, yeah, but that's only like us going from state to state. I get that, I understand that, but it's two different nationalities, two different cultures, two very different ways of being. We could go to Mexico, England v Mexico, for example, huge.
Yeah.
England v, Germany v France, Germany v Korea, whatever it may be. It's going to be massive in football, and it's going to be competitive, right? But with NFL, it'll be, you can't do that on an international level. So the only way they can get it international is by sending their teams overseas.
Yeah, I think they're more advertising the NFL rather than the teams then, because when like United and City go abroad for in the summer for friendlies and stuff like that, it's more for their own good, isn't it? Yeah, it's more for United's good and City's club rather than the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. They want to gain traction in sport, but we're not a franchise. Well, we are kind of, but we're not franchised to the league.
Yeah,
we're independently owned. Yeah, and it's. Whereas I guess these are as well, but what you've got is, I don't know, with the NFL, it's one of them where you're trying to get, like you said, they mentioned the Jacksonville Jaguars, or Jaguars, as he said. They're trying to get their franchise with a support base over here.
Yeah,
we could start up a New York Giants fan base, or a Philadelphia Eagles, or a New England Patriots fan base over here. You probably find there is some kind of like connection.
Yeah,
I seen the game at weekend against Giants against Green Bay. And the game on TV was looked like all Green Bay fans there. Loads of Green Bay. But some of my mates were there in New York Giants tops. I didn't even know liked NFL.
Oh, really?
And they got Giant shirts on. I'm like, hey? I was with you like 2 weeks ago and you never even mentioned anything about the NFL.
Wow. We've got to go at some point. We've got to try and get tickets, haven't we?
Yeah.
Except football. Because nothing really beats that over here. As for the getting drunk thing, that's probably true. But here's the thing. There are people who are quickly becoming disillusioned with football. When only a handful of the richest teams can win every season, and the sheer amount of hatred that fans display against fans of other teams, it's a refreshing change to mingle with fans of other teams, without the animosity and without people beating each other up in the streets, or suffering verbal abuse for wanting to like a specific team. American sports has some fan interaction, and it's better. You could like different teams and hate the team of someone else, but you're all fans of the game and treat each other like friends. That's how it should be.
I've seen a fair few clips of people fighting at NFL games.
Showing you one, didn't I?
Yeah.
First week of the NFL.
People puking up in the stands, fighting in the streets. Yeah. And it was Philadelphia that rioted, wasn't it, after they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know it was Philadelphia that rioted. I'm not sure it was the Super Bowl or the.
Or was it just like an average Wednesday?
Average Wednesday, I bet.
Yeah. But you've got like I mean, I've seen it loads of times with the with NFL fans fighting. I get people send me videos and links and stuff with all brawling going on. So it's not as happy and nice. It might be in England like that. When they come to England, it might be like that.
Yeah,
because you watched the Green Bay game against Giants yesterday. And it was all, you look around, there's loads of different shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've got a video lined up where we can watch, and it's like trying to find 100 shirts at the game or whatever it was.
Oh, right, okay.
Was it, however many teams, I don't know, whatever shirts he found. But it's, the whole point I go to the game is so I can banter with the away fans, have a load of beer, right? And then shake hands at the end of it and go home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or go to the pub, and have more banter with fans in the pub.
Yeah. It's part of it, isn't it?
It's not as the rivalry he's talking about there, where people come disillusioned. I mean, we come to work together. We're opposing fans.
Yeah,
it's not like there's a fence up of like doing whatever, because we're very strong opposing fans. I'd say.
Yeah,
right. Don't come more competitive than City and United, but we work together. I've got friends who are United, I've got friends who are Liverpool, I've got friends who are Spurs. All that kind of stuff. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
But, it's not as crazy. It is when you go to the game. But that's what a game's about.
It's not as bad as it used to be, though, is it?
No.
Most matches just pass off without any incident at all. You might get a few that's a bit more tasty with certain teams, but most matches in Premier League these days,
anyone who's playing Leeds,
you don't see any trouble. Yeah.
Maybe it's also safer, like he's talking about here, with rival fans together, because the fan base over here might not be as militant because they're not from the places the teams are from.
Exactly,
absolutely.
So it'd be like me fighting someone wearing a Philadelphia Eagles shirt, and I'm like, I've never been to Philadelphia. You'd just be a fraud.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more tribal over here, without a doubt.
I'd
akin it a bit more to like F1, because you get people that love certain teams like Ferrari or Williams or whatever going in with the shirts and stuff, but everyone just mixes their no problem. They just love the whole sport.
Yeah.
So,
but it's London. People aren't going to travel that far. Well, I'm here watching two teams I generally don't like, and I'm a Cowboys fan that lives 206 miles away. And I'm here again, and I'm here again, literally yesterday. A 420-mile round trip in just a day to see the NFL.
No way.
He got the wrong train there, didn't he?
There's a trainload of people making the same journey. These guys are here, they flew in from Philadelphia. and these guys are from Carolina. This is the National Football League. This is big time. People will come and watch it, and people will travel long distances to do so. Unlike America, where the public transportation generally sucks, the transport system here in England is actually pretty good, albeit expensive, and somewhat unreliable. This is a prestigious league, and it doesn't matter which teams are playing, fans will always come and watch. By the way, I just watched Jameis Winston throw 5 interceptions when I put money down for the Bucks to win. Thanks, Jameis. Most of those fans aren't actually from London or England, they're from mainland Europe. Where on earth did you get that notion from? There's been absolutely no report suggesting this, and pretty much all the people I spoke to during the fan events, all British. And this one German guy. But mainly, if they're not travelling in from the US, they're mostly all British. By the way, this German guy was actually quite funny, and surprisingly, a Green Bay Packers fan. And here's the thing about London and about American football in general. Fans of opposing teams can happily sit together and watch a game regardless of who's playing. Something that generally doesn't happen with regular football. There's not enough people in London to support an NFL franchise. Are you serious? One of the biggest cities in all of the free world couldn't support an NFL team. An NFL team may serve an average population of about 1.2 million. London has 8 million residents, and it's the only place that has the NFL in a country of 62 million. 62 million people, and you don't think we'd sell out a stadium of just 80,000? Those London games are actually losing money. If the NFL was really losing money, would they keep coming back here every year? You wouldn't think they would pull a plug like some other failed European experiment? Or some other failed experiment in a certain Canadian city? Regardless of some articles that suggest the NFL is actually losing money over these games, you have to put your common sense hat on. The NFL is the biggest profit-making machine in all of sports. The moment where London doesn't make money is the point where the NFL says goodbye. But trust me, at the prices they're charging for everything, these guys are seriously rolling in cash. It's a license to print money over here. What about Canada? What about Mexico? Well, no to Canada, thanks to the Bills and Toronto disaster. Although they are now hosting games in Mexico. I bet though that they don't have anywhere near the same amount of impact on a population like London does. Why don't you just come up with a pro league just for the UK? We have one. It's called the BAFL. But it's not exactly pro. So, you think that London is getting an NFL franchise soon then, do you? Well, I'm still on the fence. The Jaguars were the favourite to move to England's capital, but the owner, Shahid Khan, has backed out of...
Yeah, he was the one that he tried to buy Wembley, this guy, if you remember. he tried to buy Wembley for like 700 million, and he was going to go through. And then I think then he proposed moving Jacksonville to Wembley to be a London franchise. Yeah. And I think Wembley pulled the rug on it and said no, because we need it. We still want the rights to these games. And he listed like, you know, Wembley's like
at
dicks with
times,
the games. Fucking shit. The way they do it. Do you know what I mean? The way they treat just fans in the UK shit anyway. But it's Wembley's the worst for it. You know, but it didn't go through. So I think he ended up buying. Was it Fulham?
I'm not sure. I've forgotten all about him until I saw a picture of him. I thought he looks familiar now you say that.
He bought some. I think he went on to buy a club.
Yeah, I think he did, didn't he?
And then Spurs did something with their grounds to sort of like entice people coming in.
That's right.
Sort of thing. So it was something along them lines.
Back to the will we have a British franchise? I don't think so. If it's making money like he's saying, and
they do.
We've looked at the logistics of the games, and like we've learned quite a lot about this through reacting to the videos. If it's working as it is without that crazy investment of whatever you'd need to have a proper franchise here, the travel costs of all the other teams coming, I think it possibly be too big a gamble. It probably costs billions to have a franchise over here properly.
Think about this though, right? So what happens is you start off a franchise in London, and then you possibly maybe pick up one then in Germany, let's say, for example. So you've got one in London, one in Berlin, let's say, for logistics' sake, right? Then all of a sudden, once that franchise starts growing and you put the groundwork in, you're going to start having academies that are coming out of these clubs. Yeah. So what happens then is kids that are coming through school who are British kids or German kids, they're starting to want to play NFL or American football. Yeah. So all of a sudden, if you get more British people, then all of a sudden that expands it to become a league. in Germany, and then you're getting top players that are coming from Germany and Britain, and then it stretches around Europe, and all of a sudden
it's more interest. It's sort of like a ripple effect.
This ain't something. It's a 5-year plan. This is probably a 200-year plan. To have NFL leagues across the world.
I don't think it'll get adopted by schools in this country. I think
that'll be a tough
too
one,
dangerous for a start. Like, all the people signing off on it are going to go nope. And I know we play rugby in schools, but
hang on, Dave. Let me stop you there a minute. The rugby we played in our schools, where my kids went, was a rugby school, right? And you watch them play rugby. It's two very different forms. It's like us three playing basketball and saying, we played basketball in our school.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know that. But what I'm saying
there'll be schools that'll take it on board. Trust me, 100%.
And also the financial investment needed for these training centres, for the schools, things like that, would be so much money.
It'd be back though, because you've got people like Nike behind it. You've got people. You've got the NFL.
It'd have to be a huge unified drive.
You look at the size. You look at there. They're just talking about the revenue scale before, and you had the Premier League, which was on like 3 point something billion.
And
the NFL was, I can't remember what the number was.
16 billion.
Yeah. So you're talking. It's like, it's almost 50% more, or more than it's, what is it? 200% more than the the Premier League. And you look what the Premier League's trying to achieve. They're trying to achieve something similar. But the Premier League are competing with the Bundesliga or La Liga or the Spanish one.
It's slightly different. We're just trying to sell our products. We won't be getting a franchise Premier League sort of team anywhere, I wouldn't have thought. But then again, who knows?
But you can play, you just need a football and you can play on a field. But the equipment costs in American football for schools to adopt it over here one day. And you think, right, well, we're going to need like the headgear, we're going to need the shoulder pads, we're going to need jerseys.
It won't be a northern sport.
It costs so much money that it'd be too exclusive.
It'd be a southern sport.
But what they'd look at is they'd look at a lot of military bases around the country, like Lakenheath and places like that, where there's a lot of American personnel. There's a lot of Americans over here in the military.
Yeah, true.
They'd probably look at places like that first to start, maybe an academy, or try and get it into a school where they've got like maybe Americans going there anyway, where there's a bit more interest, and then it's one of those, isn't it? You've got to try these things, haven't you?
You look at this now. What the idea? 4 games this year, is it, in the UK? 2 at Wembley, 2 at Spurs Stadium, I think it is, right? So you've got 4 games over here. That the interest already is peaking, it's spiking, because there wasn't 4 games in 2005 when they first come out. I think it was only 1 game. So it's gone from 1 to 4. And then you're getting the different franchises that are coming over. So people are getting to see the team they want to come and see if they want to, if they want to go down and do it. I mean, for me, if NFL clashed with the Premier League, which it has done, for things. I mean, I was at the game on Saturday, the City match. I was at the game at Wednesday at City. I was at the game previously on the Sunday at City. So we had Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. Right? I mean, the expense in that alone's majorly expensive. It's a lot. But then you've got, I know I've got coming up, I've got travel to go to Germany. So I'm going to Germany with City. I'm going, there's different things you've got going on. And then with this kind of stuff, you've got the investment of, I know what you're saying, but what you've got is, it'll be a London team, but the way it'll develop will develop from a franchise going into an academy, going into spreading out and spreading. But there will be people that pick it up because there's too many big hitters behind it. It's too much wealth behind it.
There's a lot of money there. There's a lot of people willing to invest in it. I think if it starts in London and you have a local, sort of like a local team, as it were, that's there all the time, people will just start getting more interested. It'll be on the news more, and then Sky will start looking at it thinking, no, that's interesting.
Like I was saying, though, with all the franchises coming over, it's giving that opportunity for people. But again, if it clashes with the Premier League, would the people who watch the Premier League go and watch the NFL?
Probably not.
It's not so bad in London because you've got the London base that are there anyway. And there's already 5 or 6 teams in the Premier League from London.
Five or 6,
whatever it is, 5 or 6. But then you've got them fans will be watching them games, so they have to pick the certain days and make sure they fit into what the schedule is over here against the football. So you can attract them football fans as well. But I think a lot of rugby fans, crossover fans, will make it. Rugby people will watch this. And NFL fans. That's why it's busy.
I wonder with like how crazy health and safety stuff is nowadays, and this is like the clipboard and high vis jacket sort of wanker speaking, which isn't me.
Me for.
But I wonder if American football would exist in its current state if it started today as a brand new sport.
Whether it'd get off the ground, you mean?
Yeah, whether it'd get off the ground just because people would be like, not my kids doing it, because it's so, but because it's so ingrained in the culture, and obviously it's been made safer over the years. We've looked at some of the big hits to now what you can do. I think, would everyone get behind it, or would people be a bit scared of it if it was brand new? And would it be like this new homogenized version of it that's safer? And that's what I think about if it expanded to new territories.
I know what you're saying. The one thing you've got to consider with bringing a sport to the UK like this is when you're talking professional, if you said, right, we're going to bring an NFL franchise to the UK, you're going to have pushback from the people who don't get as much crowds but rely on their money for attendance. And these have got massive financial might behind them.
Yeah,
humongous, right? Bigger than any other sports franchise around the world. You already can't watch 3 o'clock games over here in the Premier League because it affects the attendance of all the local teams.
Yeah,
which is something that dates back to 1962 or something shit like that, maybe even longer.
Yeah,
whatever it is, it dates back years and years and years. That there's still a rule that's shit.
Yeah,
you can go anywhere in the world and watch all the Premier League games. Over here, you pay a massive amount, can't get 3 o'clock kickoffs unless you go to the game.
They should need to, like in COVID, they were having like 12 o'clock, half 2, to get matches all the way through on the Saturday and the Sunday.
And it'll pick up more money, and it's more TV money, the bigger the games are and all that kind of stuff. And that's what they do in the NFL. The more TV money you get, the more sponsorships, the more attendances, everything that goes around. Attendance isn't the number one peak of where you get your money from.
No.
Sponsorship and TV money.
Of course it is.
Sort of thing. And they know this in the NFL more than anyone. So they're looking out for it. But as far as that, you're going to get pushback from the rugby people, rugby league and union.
Yep.
You're going to get pushback from the horse racing people. And then you're going to get pushback probably from the people of the Premier League, and going to say, well, where's that going to leave us? If you want to play your game on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, where's that going to leave our fans? Going down to watch Boreham Wood or going down to watch Altrincham.
Yeah,
true. You might want to travel to go and watch NFL.
Yeah,
they're going to lose one to make the other.
Yeah,
think about transport infrastructure, policing, things like that as well. Like, do we have room for something that's as big as the Premier League?
Yeah, especially in London. I mean, the Met's huge. For the policing side of it all, and the stadiums that are there. I mean, you look at this weekend, you had Arsenal playing Liverpool. The Giants game was on at Spurs Stadium.
Yeah,
and 2 local teams. Do you know what I mean? Playing right around the corner from each other.
Yeah, of course.
Both full attendance. Yeah. So there's your answer for that.
Yeah. This is the longest 10-minute video we've ever reacted
to. Buying Wembley. It's a tremendous blow to his chances of moving a team here, but I suspect that the story doesn't end here. The new White Hart Lane Stadium has a permanent retractable NFL field built in, so there's already a ready place to play.
White Hart Lane?
And the stadium was awesome, by the way, but such a pain in the ass to get to. I wouldn't put it past Dean Spanos to pull a stunt like moving the Chargers to London. As unlikely as this sounds, this is Dean Spanos. Him and Stan Kroenke are possibly the worst owners in the NFL. And Dan Snyder, him too. Fuck you, Spanos. Why don't you expand by 4 teams and have the whole division in Europe? Having 1 team in Europe is hard enough. Having 4 teams is logistically more difficult. London has proven to work for the last 10 years, there's no denying that. But the same can't be said for Berlin, Paris, Madrid, or any other major European city. While some of these cities have had teams played there in the past, I don't think any of them would have the same impact as London. Let's say you're right, and London does get a team. They won't have any fans because everyone else supports another team. Here's the dirty little secret. Allegiances can be changed, and allegiances can be bought. People can change the teams that they like, and is it any coincidence that the Jaguars had almost no British fans before they came here? But once they started playing regularly and marketing heavily to the public, they're now the best supported NFL franchise in the country. If London has its own team with its own identity, people will make the switch. If there's one thing that you could say about the British is that we love our sporting heroes. Keep that shite out of my city. Millwall, Millwall. Sorry football fans, but the NFL is here to stay. Maybe not a permanent team, but the NFL is making far too much money to ever stop playing in London anytime soon. In short, I believe that the NFL has got a pretty sweet deal. They're making money playing in games to an English-speaking market to an untapped audience that's highly receptive of them. In theory, they don't actually need to move a team over here to benefit from British fan dollars. They could just keep doing this every year with different teams and the demand would be exactly the same. And the proof is in the pudding. This year's 4 games were sold out in just 40 minutes, and there's no signs of it slowing down. Although there have been various suggestions that the Jaguars may or may not move, one thing's for certain. The British like the NFL, and the NFL isn't showing any signs of not playing here anytime soon. So, if you like this sort of thing, be sure to like, share and subscribe. Check out my other channel to see what it's actually like to see an NFL game in London.
He makes great videos, doesn't he?
Really good. He speaks well. He's clear, concise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can understand.
Well explained. Definitely, yeah.
Well, he's the one that did explain the rules of the NFL to us like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. I think the allegiances part of it, when it comes to our football, then you wouldn't change, would you? But I think if an American football team started in London, I think people probably would say we've got our teams now, but I think people would change and go, yeah, I'll support them instead.
Would you? Would you support London instead of New England Patriots?
Of course I wouldn't. No, you know what I mean, but you know, people haven't built up their allegiance over here quite as much as we have done with our football teams.
It could be a different division from the team you support, though, couldn't it? So it could be that you could support both. And then in the unlikely event that you both meet at the Super Bowl, then you'd have to pick a side.
I think maybe people over here that are British, say if they support like Green Bay Packers, I think if there was a London team, they'd probably support them as well.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, at the very least.
Because people aren't as militant, it's not as ingrained.
You know, when it comes to
would it be a new team, and
especially if it was in London, 100% would.
But football over here, you generally support who your parents supported or who your dad supported more traditionally, don't you?
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much.
That's where you get that
siblings
from.
And stuff,
whereas like everyone's essentially a blank canvas over here for the NFL, really, because it's not like there's a few people that have probably got dads that really like it. But the vast majority of people have no allegiance.
That's been we've supported football teams and yourself, since we were like since I can remember. But not when it comes to NFL. So I think people could change or add a team to it.
I'd never change from the Giants. Never.
I think it's a bit different for you, because you've lived in the US, haven't you, for a long time?
I lived in New Jersey where the Giants played, but I've never lived in London, and London can go themselves anyway.
Well, you've got a bit more of an affiliation with them, haven't you? So you've got more of a connection with them, haven't you? Because you lived over there. And
if I was going to move to London to live or Philadelphia to live, I'd probably go for Philadelphia just for the food. Philly cheesesteak.
But I'm glad it's here to stay. Bring everything. Bring baseball over. Bring fucking hockey over. Bring
why not? Give it a go.
Everything you've got. Just play. I'll play any sport. Watch any sport.
Watching sport's great, isn't it? So why not?
Miserable people usually push back on change. That's what it is. And look at the local economy benefiting so much. 85,000 people there. All the surrounding businesses, everything else. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
same.
Huge.
Same.
Why not?
Just interesting this weekend that they had the game on at Spurs Stadium. I know it was NFL, but they have the game on at Spurs Stadium, and they had Arsenal v Liverpool, which is probably one of the biggest games in the Premier League. At the same time. On Sunday, and it was like, hang on a minute, you can't do that in the Premier League, but how come you can all of a sudden do it?
To be fair, the NFL one was probably about 10 policemen there. You also, and the rest were probably the Arsenal
yesterday at West Ham Fulham in London.
Oh yeah,
so that would have been 60,000 people at West Ham's ground.
Yeah, of course, they hold quite a few there. Don't they
hold 60,000.
You know something?
So 60,000 at Spurs and 60,000 at Arsenal.
Thing is that I think the Arsenal Spurs one is different because that's North London, isn't it? So I don't know the logistics. You probably know better than me.
Yeah, it's not far.
I'm assuming they're fairly close.
You've got to walk to get to Spurs Stadium. You've got to walk from Seven Sisters, which is about a good 15-minute walk. 20-minute walk sort of thing, but you're heading in the same area, sort of like going into sort of like you're on the underground, which leads you to sort of like the Highbury area where there's only 3 stops away from it, and 4 stops to Highbury, which is where the old Arsenal used to be, which is still not far from where they are now, sort of thing. So it's all the same, and then you go to the East End, which is where West Ham are, in the East End of London. So it's, then you've got there was something else on this weekend in London as well. It was can't remember, but it was. There was 3 or 4 big sporting events on all at the same time. So you're talking 250,000 people. So like just hitting London just for sports. And then people are coming without tickets. So you're going to get a lot of scousers who went down to try and hustle for tickets down there. Without going. So you probably have 5,000 Liverpool fans who are all in the pubs and bars that live around there.
Yeah, you
probably just couldn't get a ticket. So things they're all out and about. So it's good, great for sport.
Yeah, of course it is.
Get an NFL franchise over here. Move it to Manchester.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm down for it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I've definitely been.
Call it the Manchester Citizens.
I never considered anything about it now. I never considered anything about the NFL before. Before we started doing reactions, I never gave it any thought, if I'm being honest. But now I'm fully down for it. I think it'd be great.
Which is what I'm trying to do, isn't it? Get people interested, getting it shown over here, get a bit of interest going.
It's got massive people interest like it. It's growing massively since that video has been done. It's grown massive. That video must have been 2016, something like that. No, longer than 2000. I don't know. Anyway. But it's been Jaguar. I can't remember when the Jaguars came. It wasn't. I don't think they were here this year.
No, don't think it was this year.
Anyway,
it's good.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.